Video recording first.
Hello, everybody.
Here we go. We're on video. This is good for YouTube. Say hi to YouTube.
Hi,
Hello, YouTube.
Hello, YouTube. Alrighty, and we are getting ready to go for the podcast. In 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to.
Oh wait, hang on. My bad.
episode.
It did it again. I did it again.
For real.
Yeah, we get that every once in a while.
Yeah, every once in a while.
Yeah, YouTube gets to see it.
Yeah, nice.
All right, one more time for the podcast. In 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to another episode of
Business Bros.
Well, talk about a new high.
Yeah,
We came up the trail.
Yeah, we're riding on our high horse today.
We're literally riding on a high horse today. So we came out to the ranch,
Harvest Moon Ranch.
Harvest Moon Ranch, and are literally sitting next to Khalif, the horse.
Yep.
And her owner. Well, I not necessarily the owner.
Actually,
Yeah.
he belongs to a friend of mine, Karen, because she has a big herd of horses. She let me use them for the horseback touring.
Big shout out to
riders.
Karen.
Yeah, so
Big
thank
shout out
you,
to Karen.
Yes, that's his mama.
But owner of the Harvest Moon Ranch is Miss Cindy Moon.
Hello.
And caretaker of Khalif.
Yes.
Oh, and caretaker of Khalif.
Auntie Cindy, I'll call myself.
Auntie Cindy, there you go.
So, ladies and gentlemen, one of the things we talked about as far as Business Bros is getting out into the community and talking to different business owners. And I preach it. I practice it. I send video messages via DM on Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah.
And so when Cindy followed, I sent her a video and I said, "Hey, what's up? What's going on?"
I thought that was so cool.
It was different, right?
Yeah, it was different because not a lot of people do that on video and makes it almost a little more personal. And when I talk to my clients, I often will send them video messages from myself instead of writing it all down. I think it makes it more interactive.
Not just that, I'm kind of lazy. Right? I mean, let's be honest,
too,
right?
yeah.
And it's definitely more personal. You know, it's me. It's not a
Right.
a bot or anything sending a message. And so Cindy replied back. She's like, "Hey, that's really cool."
Yeah.
I was like, "Well, I see. Your tag is East County. What was it? East County.
East County Horseback Tours.
Horseback Tours." And I was like, "So what do you do?" And you kind of reached out. I was like, "Hey, I think that'd be something pretty cool to do as a podcast. Would you be interested?" And you said.
Absolutely.
She said, "Of course."
Yes.
So here we are, like literally out here in Campo. And I'll be honest, ladies and gentlemen, it's a little chilly today.
It is a little bit chilly.
So I'm
How's
a
that
little
bald
shivered.
head of yours?
Dude, my ears are cold, but luckily I put the headphones on and we're ready to rock and roll.
We have a tight core title beanie if you want.
Ooh, maybe I should do that, huh? Right? Shout out to
Another
Ryan.
jacket too.
Ooh.
Thanks a lot, Ryan.
Thanks a lot, Ryan. So, putting the beanie on, warm up the
There
ears.
you go. Get those ears warm.
There we go.
Perfect.
Now I'm rocking and rolling. How about that? Now I'm a little gangster in the country, but that'll work, right?
It works out here too.
Big shout out to Ryan Lipsy and tight core title and Haley
Absolutely.
Collier.
So, Cindy, tell me a little bit about this ranch. What prompted you to say, "I'm going out in the country and I'm doing my thing"?
Well, I've got kind of a story there then. 10 years ago, I was actually a martial art instructor. I taught for America's Youth Outreach Program, but while I was teaching for them, something inside me was really like, there's something else that I wanted to do. I knew there was something else, so I ended up leaving teaching. I flew to Germany to live with my dad for a year, and while I was there, I reconnected with my childhood dream, my childhood love, which was horses. And when I looked in the mirror one day and said, when I decided I think I want to get back into the horse world, I looked in the mirror and said, "Can you see yourself living on a ranch and doing that for the rest of your life?" And I said to myself, yes. So I got more excited than I'd ever been in my life to pursue something. And I'll tell you, at the time, I didn't know anything about horses. I knew how to get on and kind of giddy up. Had some experiences, but I didn't know how to care for them or train them, but I was on a mission. So I told my papa in Germany, I said, "Papa, I'm going back to California. I'm going to go start a horse ranch. I didn't have $1 in my pocket." And some people said, "How are you going to do that?" I said, "I don't know, one little step at a time and I'll do it." So a week later, I flew back to California. The next day, the day I came in, I actually got a job at a bar so that I can work the nights and keep my days open. And then I went on Craigslist and just started searching for horse leasing, horse training, horse trainers. And I tried to get under anyone who was willing to teach me. I even had a 10-year-old girl giving me lessons because I was just so gung-ho on learning. Wow. So I got lucky and met some great people who took me under their wing, showed me their horses, let me lease their horses. And then I spent 5 years training under any instructor that would teach me. And then from there, I just slowly built myself up until one day I was like, you know what? I can afford it. I can get my own horse. I'm knowledgeable. I'm ready to do it. So at that time, I also met my husband. I'm so lucky to have him because he totally jumped into the horse world with me. Literally, he became a cowboy. He's from down Pacific Beach area. He's a surfer, you know, so
he was riding, just not horses.
Exactly, a different kind of riding. But when we met and I told him this is my dream and no one's taken it from me, he was like, let's do it. So he jumped on board, and first we bought one horse, then we bought 2 horses, then we bought 3. We rescued a couple of them, meaning they came from a really bad situation. So we took them and put them as a part of our herd. And then, I just spent a good 5 years training myself, learning as much as I can about horses. And then 5 years ago, I started doing horse training, where I started taking clients' horses in, working with their horses, competing. And then about 6 months ago, I ended up going, you know what, my horses have been in pasture just hanging out, enjoying themselves. Why not I put them to work and share with people the experience of what it's like to ride a horse? A lot of people in San Diego have never ridden a horse. I've taken riders that have never even seen a horse, but it's a very uplifting feeling to get together with a big animal.
Yeah,
and work with them. Yeah,
definitely. And I mean, kudos to you, because basically, if I'm hearing you right, you did this overnight.
10 years of hard work.
10 years of overnight hard work.
Yes.
But I mean, to have a dream or goal or an aspiration, and then to grind, literally go out and do everything you possibly can, and every waking hour to develop and this dream, this passion to do what you want to do. It's a testament to where you are. That's why, seeing that you launched the tours in January and where you're at like today, of course it's successful. You've been living this life for 10 years prior to doing that. So tell me how you ended up with this ranch in particular. You were telling me earlier about how you got married here.
I did, yes.
What?
We started off in a lakeside where I boarded at first, and then we wanted to start our own ranch. So then we leased a property up in Ramona. It was 44 acres, beautiful. And then that house was being sold, so we had to get out of there, and we decided we wanted to go further out into the country, be a bit more rural. I wanted a trail system, which is perfect for my horseback touring business, because where I was in Ramona, I was kind of gridlocked. I had to trailer out to go out to the trails. When here, I can just saddle up and head out my back door, and I can disappear for a day or ride all the way to Canada if I wanted to. So what that brought us out here was the openness, and we found this little property and fell in love. So I'm pretty sure when we buy someday, we're probably going to stay out here in Campo. I love it out here.
So it's definitely, I mean, for those you city folk, right?
Yes.
Like me.
Most of us.
I
live in Bankers Hill, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, it's downtown as you're going to get. It's a little bit of a drive, but it's a beautiful drive.
Yes.
I mean,
Easy.
very easy. We saw hawks. And it's not even a sunny day. I mean, the wildlife that's out.
A lot of wildlife out here.
Just the trees, the grass, the mountains,
It's
the
quiet.
views. It's peaceful.
Quiet and peaceful. So we love that the air is so fresh out here, and I stay more grounded, I feel, being out here. I don't do technology a lot. I don't even watch TV, aside from maybe Netflix.
And we came and bombarded you with wires and screens.
This is great. I appreciate technology. There's a place for it, but being out here just helps me stay more grounded and in tune with myself and with the animals, and in a way I feel healthier out here.
Absolutely. So, that's something, we have pets. James, for example, has Katie, right? Katie's a nice Rhodesian Ridgeback.
I have a Rhodesian.
She's beautiful.
Oh,
She's a great dog. That's about the extent of my experience with animals.
You know what I'm going to do to you after this then?
What?
I'm sticking you on a horse.
I've actually been on a horse. So the last time I rode a horse, I must have been 8 or 9 years old, way down deep in Mexico. And over there, that's just how they got around.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just, we
how
were
we
rich
traveled.
because we rolled up in a car,
No,
right? I mean,
right.
that's the world that we went to go visit. So it's been a long time since I've been on a horse, but they're still beautiful creatures. So the thing I was going to ask you about the animals was, I know he develops a very personal relationship with his dog. That's his baby. That's his, he goes home and he looks forward to giving her hugs. She looks forward to seeing him every single day. What's it like, with a horse? Do you have the same type of relationships with your...
Very similar. You would develop it maybe a little differently than you would a dog, because a dog is a prey animal, horses are a predator. Opposite. A dog is a predator, horses are prey animals. So there's a little different way that I interact with the horses, and I try not to apply human psychology to them. I apply horse psychology. So if they understand you, they'll totally latch on to you like you're a dog would to a human too. My horses are really close to me because I do their feeding and their training, and all the riding as well. So I'm very connected to them. They know me very well.
What's it like taking care of a horse? I mean, there's more to it than just, petting them.
Yes. It's
right?
a lot to
and throwing
it.
a saddle on and going into
Right,
it. Tell me a
yes.
little bit about what a day is like here on the ranch.
Well, it starts off every morning with getting up at the crack of dawn. I hear them neigh as soon as I walk out, and we usually feed our horses just once a day. We throw all their hay out in the mornings, sometimes a little bit in the evenings. And yeah, the day usually consists of keeping things clean, feeding, watering, cleaning pens if I need to. I set it up so my horses are in a pasture, so it's not as much cleanup part. But we do spend a lot. Really, most of the work is actually keeping our land it's overgrown right now, so we have to mow everything and keep fire breaks around here. So I think keeping up with the ranch itself is a little bit more work than my horses. The way I set it up makes feeding and cleaning very easy because it's just me and my husband. So I had to set it up so that, and we also have other jobs that we go to. So I had to be smart and set it up so that all the basics that is done every day is real easy, quick and easy to do. So it takes me about an hour and a half every morning, get everything done, and then I'm pretty much free after that. And I'll spend time with the horses or do training work with them. Since I started the business, I spent 6 months before I launched it training my horses, getting them ready for beginner riders. So like I said, I take people who've never been on horses before. Sometimes they're nervous. I've had some guys clam up and almost didn't know what to do, so I need my horses to be relaxed and ready to just take care of the rider so that they can sit relaxed, not fear for their life while they're out there, and enjoy the horse and the scenery around them.
Yeah, for sure. They're definitely beautiful animals, but they're big.
Yes.
Like I've seen, since I was a kid, I've seen cartoons, the horse turns around and kicks you.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so, seeing, the big majestic animals like that behind us, you kind of get a little nervous when you're a little close to them, right? I understand that they're probably more scared of me than I am of them. But, how do you get your clients to come over and kind of get over that fear?
Yeah, I have a real good knack for teaching people. Like I said, I taught martial arts for 7 years. So when it comes to teaching, I've got a knack, especially with horses, to convince people to be calm, relax. And the more pointers I'm giving to the riders, then the more they feel relaxed. You're always afraid of what you don't know. So as long as I give them those basic pointers, I've not had anyone not wanting to get on yet. So yes, it's always my pointers, explaining to them how to navigate the horse and a little understanding into horse psychology, and that usually makes people a lot more confident, comfortable. Like, they're not going to eat you, they're not going to take off running. I know some people have had bad experiences on horseback, and that's where I feel like it's not the horse that failed them, it's the person that put them on that horse that failed them. And I always promise people my horses are easy going, they're not going to take off and buck or none of that stuff. So that usually, once people get on my horses, they usually relax and go, oh, okay, it's not so bad. And with the pointers, everyone starts riding like a cowboy out there. And really enjoying it. I had one person really clam up out there, and I ended up just ponying him out on trail, and then next thing you know, halfway into it, he was like, I got this, and he rode the whole ride on his own. So
yeah, it's one of those things you just kind of got to acclimate yourself. You got to hop on there and just do it.
And I get some people at first, they seem real tense, and then as we get going, then they relax and enjoy it. And so it's a good experience. I'll teach you to kind of open up and not fear these animals, because like I said, they're not going to eat you.
Yeah, that's a good thing. I didn't want to get eaten by a horse.
I have a quick question for you. What is something that you do to set them up for beginner riders? Like you mentioned that you make sure that they're comfortable with beginner riders. What is something that you do for that specifically?
That's a big question. A best way to say is, one of the things I do with them is I do a lot of desensitizing work. Horses naturally are very sensitive animals. Mother Nature said to the horse, if you're scared, don't think about anything, just take off and run.
React.
Exactly. Yes. Of all domesticated animals, horses have the fastest reaction timing. So they don't think. So if they're scared, they take off. So when I work with them, I do exercises that help change their brain from being a reactive animal to a thinking animal. So I teach them to think about things and wait for human, and if they're unsure about something, to stand still and wait for me. So instead of their nature saying, I gotta take off and run, I'm scared, they actually sit and they stand and wait with me and stand still. So I'll do games like the standing still game. I'll take things out that might scare them, and I'll do something called pressure release, where I'll bring what's scary up to them, and when they're about to kind of explode, I take it away, and then I go back and forth. So the horse realizes that the scary is gonna go away. I never pressure them with it. Like, imagine if you're scared of a spider and I'm trying to help you get unafraid of the spider. Would it help if I just stuck the spider in your face and said, get over it, get over it?
Freak me out. I'd be done.
Flip out. But what if I kind of stood maybe 10 feet away, talked to you a bit about it, maybe come a little closer and then walked away. You see how I build you up to it? Same thing with horses. If you do things slowly, a pressure release, take it away, it'll build their minds to saying, oh, this isn't so bad, it's going to go away. But if you keep pursuing them with the scary, you're going to create a more reactive animal. So there's a lot of exercises I do to help switch their brain from a reactive to a thinking horse.
I like that, because we can use that in business a lot. Like, all you got to do is get out there and try it just a little bit, and then, you know, maybe you're not going to knock on 5 doors today, but you're knock on 1 door.
That's a good
And then the
way
next day you're going to knock on 2 doors, and you're going to notice that they're not going to bite, so maybe you jump up a little bit to 5 doors.
Yeah.
Baby steps, right?
You break things down for them. Don't never start at level 10. Start at level 1 with them. And some horses reach level 10 really fast. Some horses need a lot more time. It depends on their mentality.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So speaking of different riders and different size people that come onto the ranch, tell me a little bit about the different horses that you have here.
Yeah, I have. So I own 7 horses. I do have Khalif that's on hand with me. That's, like I said, he's my friend's horse. She let me use him so I can put him to work, give him a job. He's been great. So I do have, I have a warm blood, an Arabian, 2 Arabians. My husband rides one of them. I ride the other one. He's the trail boss. I'm the only one who rides that one. But the 4 horses that I use mainly for the trail riders are Toby, my warm blood. He's my big 16 3-hand horse. I got him for the big riders. So I have riders that come out there just under 300 pounds. And so he takes care of those riders. And then I have Misty, which is my appendix mare. She can also take up to 250 pounds. I have 2 big horses for the bigger riders. And then I have my pony, Mariah, which is great for the little kids. So I'll pony kids out there or even give lessons to kids with her. And who's the other one I have? Oh, and Hidalgo, my paint. He's also good for the kids, too.
Nice. So kids, like, what do you think is an appropriate age so that, you know, if a family's thinking about coming out and riding, you know, and we have multiple ages, what's a good time to start? What age are you thinking?
Really, honestly, any age is a good time to ride. Out here in the country, there are kids that are 3 years old already out there running gymkhanas and just riding as good as me, you know, because they're born in this lifestyle. The parents really challenge them with horses. So kids out here at very young ages are already riding. But to come out with me just for the liability, I do try to have the kids be at least like 9-10 years old to take them out on trail, but I do offer kids rides on the ranch as well too. I did have an 8-year-old girl come out, but she had been taking lessons and had been riding, so I went ahead and let her ride, and she rode all on her own for 2.5 hours out there. That little girl was awesome. Shout out to Kylie if she listens. But yeah, so I would say to come out to me, if they're 10 years and older, I can take them out on a trail ride. Any younger than that, then I would probably lesson them here on the premise and let them ride the horses.
So they can still ride, just
absolutely.
A little bit, you know, more contained.
Yes, exactly. Just for safety. I do really trust my horses, but because I'm just starting this, I want to make sure I see everything, know everything, and so I'm taking my time with that. My goal is actually to possibly get a couple more string of ponies for horses. Either I'll feed Lisa, maybe I'll buy them, and add more kids' horses to my string so I can take bigger groups of kids out.
So we know we live in an area. There's the Bonita area, and there are people. And there are people in Bonita who have horses, and they want to do some trail riding type of stuff, right? So how do they get? Are they able to come out here and blaze some trails over here?
Yeah, absolutely. If people out in other areas besides Campbell have their own horses and a trailer, they can actually come to my ranch, stage at my ranch, and I will take them on a private tour on their horse out around here. Today I had 6 women show up with their trailers and horses, and they tacked up, and I took them on a 3-hour tour around Campo.
So if I was to plan an event, like I was like, okay, you know, I'm gonna come horseback riding. My wife's never done it, or my kids have never done it. What should I expect? How do I book it? How many hours? You know, what's that like?
If you go on my website, eastcountyhorsebacktours.com, there you'll see you have options of a 1-hour tour, a 2-hour tour. I have 2 different 2-hour tours, and even a 3.5-hour tour, and it explains their pony rides that I offer as well. So if you're interested in booking a ride, you just go there, and it'll give you all the options for all the trails that I offer there.
And do you have
one more time? What was that website?
eastcountyhorsebacktours.com.
eastcountyhorsebacktours.com.
Yeah.
And so are the trails like different difficulty levels, or is it like pretty much once you're able to ride, you're able to handle it?
Yeah,
or
I pick out the easy trails here for safety, because all the rides are walking ride only. We follow single file just so the horses know their job and the riders can sit and relax and just enjoy. If there are riders out there who are experienced, I can even offer a faster pace ride for those, but that's separate. I don't want to mix inexperience and experience, because bad things could happen.
Yeah.
So I
trying
want
to keep up and
exactly
overextending
people,
yourself.
Yeah, I want to keep people safe. There's a lot of trail systems out here that are very difficult. There's a portion of the Pacific Crest Trail I go on where you're actually on the edge of kind of a cliff, and there's a drop off. So I will not take riders on that unless they understand how to ride and navigate their horse. So the horses won't jump or anything. They don't want to fall, but
Khalif
it can be a little
really
sketchy.
wants to say hi.
Hi, baby.
What's up, Khalif?
He's like, Mama, what's the point of this? He's like, I thought we were going to go ride.
Like, are you gonna hop on here anytime soon?
I was going to point out that what we have down here is the Pacific Crest Trail. I don't know if you guys have heard of that, but it starts here and it goes all the way to Canada. It's a recreational hiking and equestrian trail. So if you wanted to hike it, you could go up to the monument, the southernmost terminus here in Campo, and hike it all the way to Canada, which is 2,650 miles.
Holy moly.
I just met some hikers up there. I took the ladies up to that monument, and I met a group of hikers that said, yep, we're heading to Canada.
And they just do it like on horseback all the way up?
They're hiking.
They're hiking?
Yeah, I know. I think that's way harder.
Oh, it's
I'd
definitely
rather ride
way
it.
harder. Yeah, I'd rather ride it too.
I don't want to hike. I just want to ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, that's got to be a long time to travel 2,000 miles.
Yep, it's last summer I met two hikers that were coming the opposite way, and I just started talking to him. I said, "Where are you from?" He goes, "Canada." It's like, "Oh my God, how long did it take you?" He said, 4.5 months on the trail.
Wow.
4.5
And he was
months.
finishing that day. I was like, "You're only 3 miles away from the finish line." He's like, "Yep, finishing it today." Yeah,
Wow.
4 months, 4.5 months. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. See, I didn't know that. When people come on these tours, what do you walking them through? What are you telling them? I'm sure, I mean, I've seen like the LA bus tours, right? They throw you on a double-decker bus and they're like, check it out, Brad Pitt lives right here.
Right.
What goes on in Campo?
Don't have anyone famous out here, but I share with people actually the history of Campo. You are actually right now on a old World War II Army base camp. So back in Pearl Harbor, when that happened, the U.S. government was thinking we might have a Japanese invasion over the Mexican border, which is straight that way. Up that hill, you can actually see it from here. We're only about 1.5 miles from the border. And so they brought in one of the last cavalry units into this area, and they were known as the Buffalo Soldiers, which was a group of African-American men that fought for the U.S., the Buffalo Soldiers.
I read about them in the Veterans Museum at Balboa Park.
They were stationed all in this area, and they were given the name Buffalo Soldiers because the Native Americans in this area had never seen humans with such dark skin. So they were called the Buffalo Soldiers,
See, going to the museums actually did me some good. I knew that one.
You knew that, yeah. And
I didn't know that it was here, though. This is really cool.
This
and you
is
said
where it was. It's called Camp Lockett.
This was the veterinary hospital.
The house up there, that brown cabin, that building that I live in, was the veterinarian hospital. So horses were actually operated in there. Across the road, my neighbor's house was the stables, but it was remade into a home. And then behind me, further on the trails, there's stable buildings. We have a 300-bed convalescent hospital. And just old buildings from back in that era still. So when I ride people through, I'm kind of explaining to them some of the history. But most of the talk is really about horses.
Yeah. But still, I mean, it's cool to know.
But
like James, for example, he's on a mission this year to go to every single museum at Balboa Park. Right. And so he's been doing it. So we literally on our calendar for the podcast, he blocks off days. Right. And those are museum days.
Go to the ones here. We have 3. We have the Gaskill Brothers Stone Store Museum, which is
I saw that one on the way there.
Yeah, it's right off the 94. That was the very first grocery store opened here back in like the 1800s, late 1800s, by the Gaskill Brothers. Yeah. And then we also have the Campo Railway Museum, which is right across the road from me. They actually run the same train from back then. And the weekends they run it, so you can ride it for $10 and it takes you halfway to Tecate and back. It's a beautiful scenic tour, or train tour.
Super cool.
Yeah, and then we're actually opening the Buffalo Soldiers Museum down here at Camp Lockett. I'm going to be offering soon something called the Camp Lockett Tour, and it's going to come with a stop at that museum. So I'll ride you to it. You get to dismount, go into the museum, check it out, and then I'll take you on a back. Camp Lockett Equestrian Center was the old cavalry training area for the cavalry horses, fighting on horseback. We don't do that anymore. So down there is where they have the equestrian center, and I will take people on the ride down there. And I'm getting together with the historian Les. He knows everything there is to know about the history down here. So when I get together with him, he's going to teach me all the stories and just more stuff I can share with the riders. Yeah.
How long would that tour be from here to the museum? And
an hour and a half.
About an hour and a half.
An hour and a half.
Very cool.
But I mean, dude, think about how cool that is, dude. Like one of my favorite movies is Tombstone, right?
Yes.
And so to literally go on a tour, right, where you ride up and then you dismount and you tie up your horse and you walk into something. I mean, how cool is that?
I met Peter Strako from Tombstone.
Really?
I met him. We did years ago when I did Night of the Horse. I got to meet him. He rode in. Really cool guy. It was just kind of cool to meet someone from Tombstone because that's a classic, you know.
Yes, it is.
It's
total classic. Yeah. No, I mean, just to have that experience. I mean, granted, I'll probably hop off in my like Jordans or something, but you know, but I could still be wearing a hat. Nobody's gotta look at the shoes.
People have shown up in shorts.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and sometimes I'm like, well, isn't it kind of common sense to wear pants? But no, people show up in shorts, no problem.
It's San Diego. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, like, it's all good. The saddle kind of covers anyways, right? So it gives you a little bit less space. But
we're just walking. But I mean, if you were moving out, doing a fast pace, you would not want to wear shorts. You get chafed. You get rubbed raw. Yeah.
Yes. So okay, ladies and gentlemen. So if you're gonna do the horse tour, wear pants.
Yeah, and you'll definitely have to let us know when that tour starts to the museum because I like museums.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely let you know for
sure. Yeah, you'll definitely want to check it out.
Yeah.
Dude, so
right out here on my steel horse and get on a real one.
There you go.
Yeah, it's a little choppy. It's gonna make a lot of noise. I'm gonna scare the horses out here.
Hope not. They've been trained well.
My horses are pretty used to all the loud sounds of cars and vehicles because we do encounter them out there. As long as we keep everything walking pace, they really don't care about those things. I did desensitize them pretty well. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Awesome. How are we doing?
We're 26.
Oh, okay, cool. I just want to make sure.
Minutes.
Usually, you see, a little bit of side note so people don't know, but usually he's sitting right next to me, and so when we get close to time, he like gives me a little nudge on the thing. So since he's so far away, I was like, I gotta check with him a little bit. So one of the probably the only thing that we ever really talk about when it comes to horses out there in the civilized world, I guess what I want to call it, or the city folk world, right, is horseshoes. Right, so we play horseshoes. Yeah. What's it like changing a horseshoe on a horse? Isn't it kind of nerve-wracking?
No, not really. I've never done it myself. My husband actually trims our horses himself. We don't shoe them unless they need to. My horse that I do endurance racing on, when we do our endurance races, then we'll fully shod them. But it's not that, I guess for me, it's not that crazy to see. Yeah, they do nail them on, but it helps add that extra protection because, I mean, I'm covering 25 to 50 miles in one day, in 2 to 6 hours, and we're going over rocky terrain. So it does help the horse not to have any lameness issues by throwing on those extra little padding to help their feet out, yeah.
How do you know when a horse gets, like, super tired?
Oh, they'll tell you for sure. Most horses have pretty good endurance, but they'll tell you. They'll walk slow. A horse that's super relaxed will have their head very low to the ground or kind of low. A horse that's kind of on alert will have their head up in the air like this. So if they're kind of lax, you'll usually see them drop their head medium and they'll cock one leg up. So you can usually see in their body language when they're just kind of chill. You'll know when a horse is on alert because they'll be on all fours. I call that fight position. So
yeah, they're perked up, chest
looking,
up.
like you can tell. Yeah, their ears are forward. They might snort. When they snort, that's usually like them giving warning to the other horses, like, hey, there's something weird going on over here. Yeah.
Have you ever had any issues with, like, snakes, for example?
Yeah, I see them often. I saw 2 rattlers out there on Saturday. I took a couple out for a ride, and we saw 2 of them, which is pretty rare even for me. And I did recently see a rosy boa, which is way cool. That's super rare to see out here, and I'm all the time on these trails, so to see that was a real treat.
I saw you took a picture, posted that one on Instagram,
I
right?
did. I put a video on there about it. I felt like I was Steve Irwin. I was like, so beautiful, so gorgeous. Yeah.
How do the horses react to the snakes? Because I know I would freak out.
Yeah, no, they don't really react at all. I mean, they see it and kind of stop, and we make sure we don't go near them. I've had one horse that I was riding that actually kind of spooked because at Poway I was riding up this hill, and in the hillside there was a snake, and I stopped and looked, and it actually struck out at me and made my horse kind of jump sideways a little bit, and then I just took off. It's like, okay, let's not bother that snake.
Ooh, yeah. He's marking his territory. No, I was talking about the snake. Snake's marking his territory. It's time to move out of the way. No, that would definitely make me nervous. I know as a kid we did a lot of hiking. We did a lot of, not on horses, but a lot of hiking as we were in this like Boy Scout group called Pathfinder, so we did a lot of that sort of stuff.
Nice.
And I remember bumping into some snakes, and
I see them out there.
Yeah, but
Rattlers?
sometimes, you know what? As
Kings,
a kid, I don't
gophers, racers.
I'm sure it could have been almost anything, but just the fact that it's there kind of would make me nervous, right? And what would make me even more nervous is a lot of times they don't even draw attention. They're just curled up, and you pass by, and we would travel in packs, like 10, 12 of us at a time, and I'm like eighth in line. I'm like, whoa, that kind of freaks me out.
They usually don't want to be seen. Their rattlers are there to kind of let you know, like, hey, I'm right here. We love seeing, though, the king snakes, the racers, and the gophers. The king snakes actually eat rattlers, and I see those more on my property, which is a good thing. I don't mind rattlers. If they're out on trail, I marvel at them, but I definitely don't like seeing them on the property because of the dogs, the horses. No one wants to get bit. So yeah.
So I noticed you did have dogs. Do they run around the compound too a lot?
They do.
They get along with the horses really well?
Yeah. I train them. They're not allowed to go. My horses are great with dogs, but I teach my dogs to treat all horses the same, because I met some horses that are like dog killers. They'll go after a dog or kick a dog, So I teach my dogs to give the horses space and don't walk under them and all that. But they love it out here. A lot of space. Yeah.
Every dog's dream.
Yes.
Pretty much, yeah.
When we moved from the city and went to Ramona on 44 acres, they changed it because they were outside all the time, and I don't have to watch them. I can let them go and go play around. They're happy dogs out here.
Absolutely. Now, check it out. I got Mila in the background. I brought my daughter today because she loves horses. She's like so excited, ready to hop on and go for a little ride. Yes, yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
So if I got anxious kids like that, why don't you tell the audience one more time, how do they get a hold of you? How do they book?
Yeah.
What's a tour normally range in price? And what's the best time of year to come and, get a ride?
Right now actually was the perfect time because we're not into that hot heat. It does get really hot out here in Campo, so I'll be planning to, once June hits, to do early AM rides and leave the middays where no riding, because I don't want to torture people. It can get up into the hundreds out here. So I'll be having early morning rides. I will also be doing sunset rides for the afternoon, and we're adding moonlight rides.
Ooh.
Where we will ride out on a full moon night. The whole place is lit up. I will only be doing about 2 to 3 people max on that one to start. But like I said, once I get more horses, then I might go up to 4 people on that. So if you're interested in booking a tour, just check out my website, eastcountyhorsebacktours.com. There you'll see all the information. I have the 1-hour tour. The 1 hour runs $50 per rider, and the 2-hour tours, those are actually about 2 hours to 2.5 hours, but I say it's only 2 hours. So you get a lot of ride time, and that runs $100 per person. If you follow my page, I will regularly put kind of coupons on there and discounts, 10%, 20% to kind of draw people out. So follow my Facebook page, where there you'll see when I post discounts. I'll probably be doing one in June.
All right, and I think we're gonna partner with you and offer some promos and get you some more business, because that'd be super cool just to have some people like send us videos back. Look, we did it!
Yeah, people, I've been amazed at the feedback I've been getting. People have been loving it. They're reminding me about where I live, because they'll come out and ride. And I ride this every day, so sometimes I forget the beauty I'm in, and I take these people out, and they're just like, "Wow, oh my God!" And I'm looking around, going, "You're right. Yeah, I gotta keep reminding myself it is gorgeous out here." So I think people are liking the experience. I think it's unique. This is more private, and I think I'm a pretty good people person, so I make everybody feel comfortable. I like to talk to them, and if it's an anniversary or birthday, I'll make it extra special for that. So I think this will be a unique experience if anyone was interested in coming and riding with me.
Really quick, I'm just gonna swing the camera over here and show those horses way in the back over there.
There's the herd.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely unique. I mean, we drove out in a car up here. We are in a car all day. It used to be, that this is how we traveled.
Yeah.
It used to be that this is just part of an everyday life.
Yep.
And that life is almost non-existent for most folks now. So for them to step out a little bit and take a blast from the past and enjoy nature a little bit, enjoy what it's like to be on a horse again. It's amazing.
If you need to just get away a little bit, if you need to ground yourself, if you need a little therapy, if you just need to feel something different, I suggest people try getting on a horse.
I like the idea for like a team building. You get a couple corporate retreats, and you come out here and relax and do a little bit of
I made Cindy excited.
Someone had given me that idea, and I thought that would be so fun to do. I actually work part-time at The Lot in La Jolla. I don't know if you've heard of that place. It's a theater, and my manager said that they have some managers interested in coming out to ride together as a team building thing. And I was like, that is such a great idea, because it can be a team thing together. I even thought about teaching people how to saddle up themselves, go get the horse themselves, and making it a whole, instead of just show up, I get you on the horse and go, you can show up and I will let you go get your own horse. We'll tack the horse up, we'll groom the horse, and then get a little tutorial, and then head out on trail together.
See, that'd be awesome.
That idea.
Yeah.
What would be the maximum group size for that?
So far, I can only do 4 because of the limited amount of horses that I have. And that's going to come with some restrictions too, because like I said, I only have 2 horses for high weight. So if I had 3 males that are at like 250, that might be tough for me, because I only have 2 horses that can carry that amount of weight. So for now, I'm a little bit limited. But that's what we're working towards.
4 is a good number.
4 is a good number.
4 is a good number.
Yeah. I've taken a couple of groups out with 4. I always have a back rider just to watch the back. My husband rides with me. But yeah, I can do up to 4 people. That's why I say call me and see if it's something I can work out for you.
That'd be cool, because I think that would be a really cool thing to put together. And I just think it's something different.
Yeah.
It's something that you might be a little nervous about, but you did it together with your group. It takes you to a whole new level as a core.
Yes.
As a core group. So definitely something cool. Cindy, thanks a lot for inviting us into your ranch. It's such a beautiful place, such a great atmosphere. It's a little chilly today, but that's nothing to do with you.
It was so cold.
But it was still
really today.
Yeah, no, but it was still. I mean, it's still amazing out here. Just, honestly, if you could, I wish you guys can just take a deep breath and just feel what it's like in the country air, and just how soothing, how relaxing, how quiet, how peaceful it is out here.
Backcountry.
I invite all you guys to come check this place out. So one more time, the website?
EastCountyHorsebackTours.com.
EastCountyHorsebackTours.com. That's where you got to go. Book it. Come check it out. It's amazing. It's a nice drive. Make it a day. Enjoy, what nature has to offer and what Miss Cindy Moon and the Harvest Moon Ranch has to offer.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, really quick reminder, we're still collecting shoes, not horseshoes. I knew you were going to go with that.
We are brothers after all.
It's true. 365 pairs of shoes. So hit up James 619-884-0045 or James@csfirst.com so he can go right over in his iron horse, his Harley.
Steel horse.
Steel horse, iron horse.
I mean, Bon Jovi says steel horse, so
okay, well,
I'm going with that.
He'll ride over in his Harley, pick up those shoes, so we can get them donated. By the end of the year, we're looking for 365 pairs. If you want to be a guest on the podcast, find us at Business Bros Pod. Shoot me an email, hernan@csfirst.com or 619-884-4915, or hit me up. I do want to do lunch with people, so I don't know if I'm going to come all the way out here for lunch. But if you're closer to Chula Vista area, let me know. I'd love to have lunch with you, sit down, and maybe I can coax you into getting on the podcast that way. What do you think? That'd be cool?
Do it, people. Do it.
All right, Cindy. Who do you think would be a great podcast guest?
Actually, I know exactly who I'd like to recommend. My friend, maybe soon to be sister-in-law too, Dr. Jessica Petras. She's kind of a big inspiration to me, because she started off on Instagram also, which is kind of what I'm doing to kind of market myself using Instagram, and she built a big platform on there. She's a natural holistic doctor, and she shares a lot of information that I feel like not most doctors want to let you know. She's very real with you, and she gives you information that I feel is so valuable. She is on Instagram as Dr. Jess, if you want to check her out. And she's just, to me, she's a valuable person because of that health information that she shares with everybody. She truly wants to heal people, as opposed to just put you on drugs and make that circle keep going. You know what I mean? Like, it's out there, and she's kind of like a whistleblower. She's trying to put a stop to that and share with people, like, no, you can be your own best doctor. And follow her on Instagram. She shares a lot of great info on there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're going to have you hook us up, put us on a little 3-way DM. I'll send her a video too.
Yeah, serious. Yeah, I'll let her know.
We'll get her on the podcast here soon in the future. We're booking up May, so make sure you guys let me know as soon as possible. Cindy, thanks a lot again. I really appreciate the time you put out here.
And thanks, Khalif.
Yeah, and Khalif. Shout out to Khalif for being part of the podcast too. Didn't say much, but he was there the whole time.
He's like, I'm present. I'm present, he said.
I'm present.
Yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's all we got for you guys today. Thanks a lot, Cindy.
Thank
Peace.
you.
Bye-bye.
And I'm out.